Rabbits heard the moon was made of cheese, so they decided to build a bridge to get there. They worked all day and dreamed all night, but once they arrived, they learned that the moon was not made of cheese at all. The rabbits fell into despair until one rabbit told them, "Wait, there's cheese over here." It was the bridge, and indeed there was plenty. So the rabbits dismantled the bridge and covered the entire moon with cheese. Meaning isn't found at the end of the road, it's made from the road itself. But what if someone else built the road, leaving us out of the entire process? It's far more common than you may imagine, and here's the example of a tailor who lost his patience trying to teach his son a trade. He told his son it's very important to master a skill that most people need but aren't willing to do. But every time he turned his back, his son would go run off and play in the streets. Love mixed with fear leads to nagging. Eventually the tailor snapped and said, "You're 30 seconds away from the real world. What will you do when I'm gone?" And the son would reply, "Dear father, cease your worries. Look at the dark skies above. Behind them, the sun is still shining." The tailor threw a cup at him and the boy ran off again. He lowered his chin and let out a deep sigh. A stranger had heard his sigh and approached him with a solution. He claimed he was a magician from Africa and knew exactly how to deal with disobedient, rowdy boys. "Use these scissors to cut out a piece of your shadow and put it inside the boys. Then he'll do exactly as you say. But remember, never cut out his own shadows." Later that night, while his son slept, the tailor tried to press his shadow into the boys, but the shadow resisted. Before his son woke, the tailor decided to cut out his shadow, all of it, and shoved it inside a dusty old lamp. The very next day, his son stopped playing out on the street, stayed at home, obeyed instructions, and everyone loved him more for being less himself. The tailor finally got the son he wanted, but not too long after, he passed away, and so did the shadow inside his son. But the son kept working. He kept working until he became the most sought-after tailor in the city. He had everything his father wanted: money, status, a loving family, but also a strange sense of emptiness, for he could no longer feel any satisfaction in his life. But one day, while cleaning out his father's old things, he found a dusty lamp where his shadow was hidden. But the shadow was too young. It hadn't aged once since separation, so he needed to let it grow before he could take it back. That's when he called upon his own son to carry this lamp in hopes that one day he could set him free. His son is known as Aladdin, owner of the magic lamp, and this was the story of Mustafa, Aladdin's father. Mustafa tried to tell us that success feels empty when you lose the ability to make wishes for yourself. Then you'd have to hope for someone else to ask you to make your wishes instead, essentially becoming the genie of the lamp. Thankfully, there's a way to undo this, but first we must return to where the theft had begun. Here's another example of what the solution to emptiness looks like. There was a legendary sword hidden deep within the castle of a mighty dragon. A young boy who served as an apprentice started a fire and stole that sword in the middle of the night. Officials from nearby villages chased after the runaway, but when the boy flashed his sword, they had to kneel and admit him as Kensei, the greatest swordsman in all the land. All the accomplishments of the greatest swordsman in the past belongs to the owner of the sword. With this, he could easily marry a princess and live on the highest hills, but his happiness did not last long, for the dragon had found him and was infuriated by his crimes. He barged into Kensei's chambers and said, "The more you have taken from my sword, the more I will take back." His home burned down and Kensei had survived, but soon he realized he couldn't feel anything at all, for his heart was taken away. His wife birthed him a child, yet he had to force himself to smile. The king opened a ceremony for his achievements, yet he just found it tedious and boring. He felt empty inside, so he decided to take one last stance. He took his sword and infiltrated the dragon's castle in a desperate attempt to reclaim his heart. Strangely enough, his heart was at the location where he had stolen his sword, but the moment he touched it, he aged instantly and turned into an old man. That's when the dragon appeared and said, "You cannot have your heart back without losing the boy who stole the sword." Kensei prepared his stance and decided to face off the dragon. One clean strike to his neck would suffice. But then he saw his reflection in the sword and realized something. Unlike him, the sword hadn't changed at all, not even a dot of rust. The man dropped the sword, left the castle, and never looked back. The sword's name is Kusanagi, one of the 3 sacred treasures of Japan. Kusanagi shows us that swords can maintain one successful identity forever, for objects cannot change who they are, whereas men have the freedom to decide their identity every waking moment of their lives. This is the philosophy of Jean-Paul Sartre. Men do not have a fixed identity, they are what they make of themselves. So if a man were to feel empty after working hard and achieving success, it's likely that they're trying to be their past selves instead of who they want to be today. That's why the solution is to separate your past identity from today and choose a new identity that is worthy of your pursuit. Thank you very much for watching till the end. I pray for your peace and happiness, and I'll see you guys next time.